Seems to be taking really well. As you know, I grow everything in lots of different ways and different areas. Two reasons for that. One is so I can make comparisons on different growing methods and try different things. And also, if we do get any bugs that go out of control in any area, we won't lose a whole crop of anything because we've got them in other areas. So on to the next Hugel bed. And as you can see, this is onions, which I'm leaving to self-seed, because that's what Hugel beds are all about. It's not putting plants in, it's natural growing. So all over the winter, nothing will need watering in Hugel beds. The summer, I do put a tiny bit of water on each bit as it's starting to come up, just to help it along. But that's really because right now it's extreme heat here. So I don't want to lose anything that's coming through. And the next Hugel bed, nothing right now. And then we walk through to the Ruth Stout area. I'm hoping this sun isn't too intense for you. It's a slight problem in Cyprus filming this time of year. It's June right now and it's only 9 o'clock and already it's a burning sun. So here we have tomatoes, and I think this morning I did find a tomato. Was it on one of these? I've got the yellow buds. Now this is interesting. The old compost bag that I'm growing in my rabbit cage area has huge tomatoes on already. These I would say are the next stage below that of my tomatoes. They've got the yellow flowers. They seem to enjoy this bed. And remember to always take the offshoots of your tomatoes. So as you can see here, this one, between the main stem coming up here and the leaf coming off here, we have a shoot growing. Can you see just in between some leaves here? So always pick those out and that will make better produce. So you have to keep going out every now and then and check them. So the next bed, nothing right now. The bed after was watermelon, but that hasn't come up at all. They started to come up and then nothing. So I'm not sure about that right now, if that won't be a good place to grow. It might be the intense heat here, and this has got no shade at all, this area. It's open to the sun all day, so I know watermelons need a lot of water, so maybe when that bed decomposes a bit more and there's more moisture at the bottom. Nothing in the next one. Then this one I have peppers. So these are quite small at the moment. These are just coming through. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 coming up here. So they're doing quite well. This one's a big one actually. This one's doing very well. Little one here. Got a bit of flopsy, but I think that will perk up. And then another one here. Then nothing in the last Ruth bed for now. And then if you remember, I got excited making my Hugel beds. Do check out my video on how to make a Hugel bed. These are the big ones. And these last 3 I was going to use just for decomposing, almost like a compost heap. But as you can see, tomatoes were phenomenal this year. Had so many seeds, so these ones went in here. So I would say this is the 3rd stage of them. So these are, no, I think actually no, my cat bag ones are better than these. Yes, my cat bag ones are much better. And as I've said before, I don't know if growing in the cat bags actually helps things along a bit, because there must be some nutrients surely in the cat food bags, because things seem to like growing those. I do punch some holes in the bottom though first. So here we have tomatoes doing quite well. Always excuse my filming. Reason one, as I've said, the extreme heat, and that sometimes changes the colour of this. Number two, if you look at my video, I think it's the one where I talk about doing YouTube, you'll see I actually show you what I'm filming on. We don't have a modern phone, and we can't afford, as we don't get any income at all being in Cyprus. If you're filming for YouTube in Cyprus, they don't give you any monetarisation, so we don't actually have the money to put back into YouTube, and we're hoping to get some Patreons to help us. So look into that video if you'll see about becoming a Patreon, and one of the gifts to thank you, depending on which tier you go to, is actually free holidays here, because that's all we can really give. We can give what we've got. So look into that. So here, this last bed here, I've put excess of broccoli. Now, as you probably know, trees, fruit trees particularly, and some crops have good years and bad years. They have so many good years and then nothing. And I would say this year, obviously, looks like broccoli is a big thing, and tomatoes. Pepper's doing quite well, but nothing for either my different types of squash. Any types of squash or courgettes, anything like that hasn't grown at all this year. No cucumbers and no garlic, other than what I already had growing. And then this last bed we will leave just as a dumping ground for any extra straw or bits, and build this into another Hugel bed, but to use as compost if I need any. And then my tap, as I showed you in my last video, that might put in, really useful, as I say, just watering in some of these bits, and also all the fruit trees in this area.